Today on the Topping Show, Bud Light hires comedian Shane Gillis to try to boost their sales. We'll see if it actually works. James O'Keefe undercover exposes the White House admitting they can't get rid of Kamala Harris, and Biden's dementia is worsening. DeSantis calls for Ilhan Omar to be expelled after she says her main priority is Somalia. Vivek tweet on firing Ronald McDonald, head of the RNC, goes viral. General Motors to make hybrids after Mary Barra went all in on EVs. Baltimore Orioles MLB team sold for $1.7 billion. And Peloton stock crashed about 23% last week after their holiday sales came in. It was pretty rough. All of that and much more on The Topping Show. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of Topping Show is sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their final release twice a day. Gotta say, he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, reach the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of February, so click that button. I would greatly appreciate it. Now going over to the business part of the podcast, you have General Motors to make hybrids again after the EV sales crumbled. Will Mary Barra be fired or ever held accountable? Well, no, probably not. Now, this, as Mary Barra has been the CEO of General Motors for about 10 years, which over her tenure, the stock has dropped around 10% overall, which, again, is the antithesis of pretty much the whole automotive community. They've all done much better. Even the traditional automotive companies such as Ford Motor Company, they've been doing much, much better, both in pretty much every regard. Now, Mary Barra's idea was to make General Motors all EV. The goal for her is to be all of EV for Cadillac by 2030 and all EV for every one of the brands that they owned, which includes Chevrolet, GMC, as well as Cadillac, as well as Buick, all EV by 2035, despite what the consumer wants. Now, that being said, they've been pushing hard towards that goal, investing billions of dollars in infrastructure, engineering capabilities, and they have had some volume of success. They're still losing money on it. They're projected to perhaps make a profit on EVs in this year, 2024. But this is coming in as consumers, they're all starting to shift away. So the early adopters for EVs, I would argue that those customers are gone. They already have their EVs. They're early adopters. They bought their Teslas. A couple of them got some Porsche Taycans. And a couple of them went with the other options like Kia. They're doing good in that regard. But GM, they did have the Bolt, which is ironically named because it did burst into flames multiple times. But, I mean, GM went all in on EVs. The only hybrid they make now, which I try not to throw up when I say this, is your Chevrolet Corvette. Which, not only should that only be an ICE engine with a V8, it should also have a stick shift. So, to me, the Corvette has become the ugly stepchild, or whatever pejorative term you like to use. It's not my Corvette, as I would say, since every good Corvette, I would argue, has 3 pedals, manual transmission. The engine going to the back was controversial enough, but I partially digress. If you look at what the consumers are asking for these days, the biggest growing category in the automotive industry is hybrids, aka plug-in hybrid technologies, where you have an internal combustion engine as well as a battery. Personally, not a fan because, again, once the battery goes dead, that's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars, in addition to the ICE engine. So, when I look for the best ROI, I still tell people if they want something that'll last a million miles, get a Toyota, get a Honda with an ICE engine, and do the little changes, take care of it. However, consumers are shifting. They more and more want hybrids. That's why Toyota is investing, I believe, around $8 billion into hybrid technologies. And you see Ford Motor Company decreasing their battery capability in terms of they reduced their battery manufacturing capacity by 40% this year for EVs. Now they're investing more in hybrids as well. Now, GM, not only do they only make 2 cars a stick shift, which breaks my heart in and of itself, while they are great vehicles, they used to sell a lot more. Now they do only have the Cadillac CT4, CT5, and the V Blackwings are quite remarkable feats of engineering. But again, General Motors, they have no hybrids. So it looks like the last hybrid they did away with was in 2019, which was the Chevrolet Volt, which, in terms of, was it Robert Wagner, the previous CEO, that, even though it wasn't an immediate hit, I still think that was a good direction for General Motors. And again, even though it's not my preference as a consumable vehicle, just because, again, it did showcase the technologies at the time and got them in the direction of the shifting in consumer preferences. So, and the GM and the Volt long term was pretty popular. And that was an instance where it had an ICE engine, but more moderately revolutionary in terms of mass production and being a company that was slightly different. The gas engine was only used to charge the batteries, whereas most traditional hybrids, they have the system with the drivetrain set up where that it actually just switches back and forth. Now, it'll be interesting to see. Let's see. When it comes to Mary Barra, she still claims it won't be full EV by 2035, even in the spite of consumer preference shifting and them losing money. Now, she says, quote, "To be clear, GM remains committed to eliminating tailpipe emissions from our light-duty vehicles by 2035, but in the interim, deploying plug-in technologies in strategic segments will deliver some of the environmental benefits of EVs as the nation continues to build the charging infrastructure," unquote. Yeah, although that was from a quarterly earnings call in 2020. I'm talking about Q4 sales in 2000. So, and it's nice. It's kind of funny. It looks like she's having a little caveat. They say light-duty vehicles, so perhaps they'll continue to make trucks with diesel engines and gas engines because they want to make a profit. Spoiler alert, that's where a huge chunk of profits come from the automotive community is SUVs, trucks, crossovers, all those. Very little money in small entry-level vehicles, which is why so many of them have stopped production of them. And it'll be interesting to see, do you think this is going to be in the right direction as they try to do yet again play catch up with the industry? And again, should Mary Barra be held accountable, or is this because of the board of directors? I mean, they keep making calls that are not beneficial for the industry, the consumers. They help the employees out or the union out by giving them the biggest contract in history. But again, that also increased the price of the car for everyone who's buying a General Motors vehicle. So it'll be interesting to see, will these hybrids help them regain their realm of being one of the top automobile companies in the world, which again, they still are. They actually, although they failed so bad during the pandemic, Toyota beat them for North American sales for, I believe it's the first time ever actually. So it'll be interesting to see what used to be one of the largest automobile companies on the planet and dominated sales, debatably as good as the Patriots did in the sports balls league back in the day. Will they ever really achieve that type of economic dominance in the industry? It'll be interesting to see. But as I always say, time shall tell. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of February, so if you click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a comment and a thumbs up and thumbs down is a great way to give me some additional feedback so I can know how to make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.